People, welcome back to Around the Bloxxx with Mike Knoxxx. The Z is silent. Road to Wrestlemania, if you will, so to speak. Royal Rumble review show. Now, we were here yesterday as myself, Mike Knoxxx, and no other than my brother, Mr. Dice Man. What's going on, Dice Man?
What up, man? Good morning. Good morning to everybody.
And today we're going to also add to the stream, also from the BDSIR radio networks, my man Hugo. What's going on, Hugo?
Yo. What's going on? It's been a long time, Mike. Good pay-per-view. You know, I'm very critical about the product, but I got to be real with you. I am very, very impressed, man.
Well, did they impress him?
I heard that's what Hugo said. Who's never impressed with anything that the WWE does these past 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 years. He's been bitching and complaining. That's why it was important to have him on the show today to get a bitcher and a complainer to say what a good show last night.
It was good.
So first off, I'm gonna start with you, Dice Man. The Z is Silent podcast. You can find it everywhere right now. Dice, where can they look at you at right now, my brother?
Right now, you can catch me on Twitter at the Z is silent, all one word. And I am on Facebook gaming / the Z is silent. And then we're gonna move on to also doing it on Instagram as well.
Oh, well, we are expanding because it's called a palette, and you should expand your palette. Okay, you already know where to find me at. My name is 3X's. You know who she is. Just ask her, and she'll tell you why. All right, listen, guys, let's go ahead and get into this. And I don't even know where to start, but I'm going to start for me where I think we have to start, and that is obviously the winners of last night. And for me, that has to be and going to the winners, Edge and Bianca Belair. Dice, I want to start because I'm not going to say one of them things where I went undefeated last night. But damn it, I did. So I will Barry Horowitz myself. All right. And yeah, I took what do you call it? The cheat way out, right? Because I said 1 or 2 would win since they were going in 1 and 2. So that's kind of a little cheat way. Somebody that's like 5.5, I get correct. But either way, I was not disappointed. And I'm not saying this not to say it's somewhere here, oh God, it was so predictable. It wasn't predictable, other than probably Roman Reigns winning. We knew that was going to happen. We didn't, yes, it's wrestling, things can happen, but we all knew Roman would win that match. He is the Thanos of the SmackDown division. And right now, you got to just give props to Edge came back last year, came in, had a great match, tears his bicep again, out for almost another year, comes back here in the Rumble, comes in at number 1 and wins the Rumble. And then to take it a step further, we have Bianca Belair in her second year on the roster, and her second Rumble full year on the main roster, that is, or full year on the main roster, that is, and wins the Royal Rumble, throws out ding dong, hello, Bailey, or as my kids like to say, I love them for this, hey, we want some Bailey. I mean, this Royal Rumble was the rumble of asses because every nice, safe ass that could be in the WWE came in the ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Dice, your thoughts. As you can hear my enthusiasm, I love the program. I love the Royal Rumble last night. I was highly, highly entertained.
Yeah, I mean, like we were watching it together in the stream party, and it didn't disappoint. Last year's did not disappoint, and last year there was a lot of that hype around Bianca Belair winning, and pretty much everybody was like, "Yeah, next year is her year." She came a little too early, but next year it's her year, and you called it months ago. You did call it. You called it months ago. I think the men's was a big surprise, because we thought it was pretty obvious that they played the Orton injury way too much, and usually when they do that, he's definitely coming back, and he came back, and I thought it was done. And that switch at the last second was so quick that Randy's expression was pretty much everybody at home expression, because it was like, oh, what just happened? He just switched up on him. So yeah, I mean, I was fine with the winner. The winner makes so much more sense. Like, and what if he swerves and goes for Roman?
And I'm gonna say this just to paint the picture for those, the Picasso, if you will. Excuse me. Dice's favorite two wrestlers, or respectively top 5 two wrestlers, were in the Royal Rumble. So he is happy with that. I have never been the biggest Edge fan. I am an Edge supporter, which means to me, once Edge came back pulling his hair out, being the crazy Edge from the first time he got hurt after he split from Christian and Edge, that's when I became a fan and saw the transformation for him, I believe, like most guys. But with that being said, I want to take it to the guy who's always negative. Huggo. How you doing, buddy? What do you think about the pay-per-view last night? And respectively, these winners here.
Repeat the last question. I'm sorry, Mike.
These winners, Bianca Belair and Edge himself.
I'll start out with Bianca Belair, man. Definitely had a huge impact last year in the Royal Rumble. I think she came in second and lasted like 38 or 40 minutes. I can't recall how much it was. And then coming in this year, coming in hot. At number 3, it was kind of like a mirror of what she did last year, where she came in at number 2, and then she came in at number 3. And Michael Cole? Then the men's Royal Rumble, he came out and said a very intriguing stat that the person that always comes in at number 3 is always the one that has the biggest disappointment in the Royal Rumble.
Well, he says disappointment too.
Disappointment, which is funny because he didn't mention nothing. And again, this is just me ranting now on Michael Cole. He didn't mention Bianca Belair right after that statement that he did, where 20 minutes earlier, it was actually done at number 3. But anyway, in hindsight, I thought Bianca Belair was definitely very she was very impressive. It was the writing on the wall was there. She's definitely the next big superstar. Fans are right behind her. And I definitely do think that it was the right choice. Because if you look at the roster, right? Let's look at the actual women's roster. Who's there really?
See, I knew something negative was going to come from you.
No.
And I was ready to.
I don't mean
that. Any of 5 girls could have won this match. Rhea Ripley could have won this match.
Outside of like the legends that came.
But we haven't seen Rhea Ripley in a while, though.
No, that's not true.
That made it all perfect.
What I mean? So it's kind of like, it would have been a precedent. But then again, Bianca Belair has been, since the last year's Royal Rumble, like Dice was saying, the writing was on the wall. It was definitely the perfect person to go head over in the women's Royal Rumble. I thought it was great because if you really think about it, besides Rhea Ripley, you could also make an argument for Charlotte, but it's already been done with Charlotte before.
She could have been a first back to back. This is why the night was amazing, because I didn't know. Mm-hmm. I didn't know. And to me, when you're watching wrestling, when you're watching a pay-per-view, when you're watching that all-important road to WrestleMania as you go around the blocks with Mike Knoxxx and keep the Z silent in the podcast, you have to understand wrestling icology. And to me, storytelling in this was brilliant because honestly, and I get you saying that you due to the mathematical thing, maybe it could have been her, but mathematically, people wanted Rhea Ripley bad because of the disappointment she got from Mania last year, losing to Charlotte. And we all believe, maybe because the crowd wasn't there, they didn't do it. I would still say they was going to Charlotte because they wanted to hype NXT. But either way, you could have still went Bailey, which I know she got thrown out. But there was so many possibilities in the final 5 that I really believe.
Who were the final 5 again?
Give me one moment. I'll bring that back up. Dice, you see that on yours? I had it a moment ago.
Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair. There's 2 more. Was it Lana, I think?
Natty. It was Natty and it was Lana.
Yeah, and Lana. Okay. See what I mean? So you make an argument out of those 5. Definitely Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, and Bianca Belair would have been, the obvious choices. You know what I mean? Like if they want to make something obviously monumental, even though Bianca, I'm not taking nothing away from Bianca Belair. I really am not.
So it's Natty, Belair, Flair, and Ripley. Anyone the 4, and even for this case,
Natty though.
I'm gonna tell you why I make a case for Natty.
I'm
gonna tell you why I make a case.
No. I love Natty.
And I don't. I'm not a Natty guy. I respect Natty, but I'm not a Natty guy. You know what I mean? So, but because of her longevity, because of the respect, because I think they always throw those legends who may be on their way out, not saying she is, but that bone, that respect factor, because she has it was her before any women that could wrestle in that company.
True. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So for her to be there through all these girls, through the Trish Stratus and them, and still be here, I think you have to, pay the homage and respect to her for that. But and I want to speak on Bianca Belair as well for a second, because my daughter, I love my children, watching wrestling with my kids, and Bianca Belair winning was huge. I think, and just not just for women, and if you watch her chronicles, and not just I'm gonna say it, but not just because the African American Black History thing. And we know, to me, when she stood out the most for me is when she had that robe on last year and she had the Black History robe. She's a show woman, right? You know what I mean? She's a show woman. She knows how to put on a show. She knows how to perform. She's going to be in front of a crowd, right? Which we haven't seen. No matter how the crowd is, it's still going to be more effective, I believe. Listen to the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs and those fans going wild at those 6,500 fans. We're talking upwards here of what they're trying to bring in here to the stadium. It can be really impactful to have Bianca Belair win this. I just loved her winning that. But give me your comments on Edge real fast and your thoughts, because I think, and I'm going to hold mine after yours, of course.
No, that's fine. I mean, Dice said it. You know what I'm saying? He came back. He wanted one goal, and once again, that was to win the Royal Rumble and become whatever champion of his choosing he's going to take. Right? Was it the right choice? Yeah, it was. You know what I mean? I honestly do believe that it was the right choice, because at the end of the day, Edge has one more run in him, and that run goes through the Royal Rumble into WrestleMania. I thought it was the right choice. A lot of people are complaining and bitching about Edge winning. It makes sense, though. Makes total sense. I loved it. I'm an Edge guy. I'm with Dice. I'm an Edge guy. I love Edge. The only thing is that, like Dice said it, he's going to throw a wrench and go for Roman Reigns. Remember one thing, though. He did build SmackDown. He was the poster boy for SmackDown for a good 5 years.
Yeah.
Why not go back home? Go back home to SmackDown. Go back home to SmackDown. I would love to see Edge versus Roman. I would love it.
You know what? You think about it, and we've been thinking about it, and we've been throwing it out there. I hope for blood versus blood, him and Rock going at it at Mania. That's not happening. I like your thoughts of that with him going to SmackDown. I just don't think they would do it. I would love to see it, but I just think it's something about keeping him on Raw is Edge being unfiltered, if you will, that they kind of still get away with a little bit more on Raw than SmackDown. But SmackDown has been pushing the corner, being a little bit more edgy as well, and giving us more of an, SmackDown is the better show. So Edge could only make SmackDown a better show, and honestly make Edge he is Edge. Make Roman Reigns, if you will, so to speak, a bigger star.
What scares me really quick, Mike, before, and I know you're pressed on time, but what really scares, what scares me though is if you feed Edge over to Roman Reigns, will they pull the trigger on Edge?
Feed Edge. I don't think Roman loses. I've said this. I'm disappointed that this is not in LA where I wanted to be, but it's still in my backyard. I plan on going because I personally want to go to a Mania where they cheer Roman for once. And Roman is still over to get cheered. And you put him against Edge, that may pull the cheers back. But again, maybe that's what they want. You know what I mean? He is a heel. He is truly the biggest heel in the company next to Randy Orton for the things they've been doing.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So will they do that? I don't know. Because if he beats Edge at WrestleMania for the title, there's more boos coming. Well, maybe not, because you said it. Guys, you've seen it. I think we've all seen it. I don't know what's going on out there. The internet's complaining and bitching. I'm sorry. It's wrestling. It's the WWE after a pay-per-view. What else do you have to do but bitch and complain while Dice sits back on his mimosa? Because he's just enjoying the hatefulness towards Rated RKO. Okay? Because Edge, listen, on SmackDown, I don't want to see it, but I do see him on Raw. But the question is McIntyre? Hair versus hair match? I don't know. I'm just saying, that's face and face. So what do they do with Edge? The best and the most important thing we're going to find out tonight on Raw, I guarantee, at the top of the show. That's what we're going to find out tonight, what's going on with Edge. All right? If you don't see Edge tonight, you ain't know where he's going, right? It's be on SmackDown. So with that being said, I do want to turn our attention to, let's talk about this aforementioned Women's Royal Rumble, okay? Because when you look at this Women's Royal Rumble, when you see what happened in this Women's Royal Rumble, when you look at, first of all, Bayley coming out one, Naomi coming out two, and the expression that the women all made when she came out. Then Bianca Belair, then Billie Kay. Listen. For everybody that doesn't understand what the WWE is, it's an entertainment company, y'all. It's not a pro wrestling company. It's entertainment with pro wrestling in the backdrop. Okay, I know it sucks for some of you guys out there, but guess what? Even the wrestling company you love so much, they can't have wrestling without the entertainment, because that's what wrestling is. It's storyline. You like the Avengers, don't you? You like Superman, don't you? Oh, I'm sorry. You like anime, don't you? It's all storyline. Okay, so Billie Kay helped this Rumble along. Okay, she was funny. She was entertaining. The iconic moment, her with Jillian, I loved it. Right, I'm just gonna get it out there. And Sochi comes out Blackheart. My son's like, I've never seen her before. I'm like, you don't watch NXT like I told you. He said, I like her now, Dad, because he's that anime kid that he is. Tori Storm, Jillian Hall, Ruby Riott, Fat Pee-hoo, Victoria, Peyton Royce, Santana Garnett, Liv Morgan, bad. Man, you want to bet a case of do on Liv Morgan. Just want to throw that out there. Rhea Ripley's the greatest women's wrestler. I'll make it quick. Of all time, Charlotte Flair, Dana Brooks, Tori Wilson, Lacey Evans, Mickie James, Nikki Cross, Alicia Fox, Mandy Rose, Dakota Kai, Carmella, Tamina, Lana, which Lana got her get back. And I absolutely thought that was good that Lana threw out Nia Jax. Sorry.
It was fitting.
It was fitting. It's she took all them. This one took all these ass whooping for Jesse. Yes. All right. Alexa Bliss, who, listen, the fact that the girls had to jump her because they knew that the Fiend could possibly come out, storyline telling 101, WWE knocked out the park, Barry Bonds. We don't know if he's been on steroids. He still should be in the Hall of Fame. Then we got Amber Moon, Nia Jackson, and we knew Natty was coming in at 30. Dice, your thoughts on the Women's Royal Rumble? Because I frankly might believe, I'm going to say it was better than the men's.
It certainly was a lot more entertaining than the men's.
I say that. Thank you.
But I think we were watching it not just for it being wrestling.
Per Bitches 101.
Just some key things or some key highlights for me in that match was we got the comedy of Billy Kay. And let's not even forget R-Truth came in.
Oh, yes.
And that was a funny spot.
Yes.
And then we just got a whole bunch of action from watching different women engage with each other. I mean, like, who didn't want to see somebody like Belair face off against Toni Storm or Ruby Riott? Then Victoria coming back, still looking good.
Her and Naomi going at it. Oh, yes. Tori Wilson.
And Wilson, she just didn't have the timing, but Victoria still had could go because she's only like 2 years removed from TNA. Well, Impact, not TNA.
Yeah, they changed the name.
Right. Yeah, and Lacey Evans, and Mickie James.
you got all really tongue tied. See how you mix the names. They look really good. Which way you think they look good and out and aesthetically pleasing to you? I'm assuming.
Yeah. But that man, look at that final four, final five, final six. It wasn't a moment. I'm pretty sure we all thought that Lana was not going to be the one, but she could be a threat because everybody underestimated her anyway. Nia Jax, eliminated her. But that final three, it was time to be like, all right, I'm good. Whoever wins, I'm good. But I knew that I didn't want it to be Charlotte because right now it's too much with Charlotte. She's got too much going on. So as the leader of the Charlotte, as the leader, I believe anyway, of the Charlotte Flair train, I would say no to that. It was too. It was too early for that.
I don't like backdrop that she could probably get from it. You know what I mean? And I'm not a fan of that.
She'll get another Rumble before she retires. Okay. I think she'll get another Rumble.
Absolutely, before she retires, brother. What are you doing to her? She's
like 33, 34. So women don't.
I don't think she's the baby kind. I don't know. Just don't. What are you thinking? Stop it! Come on, I love her. Come on, Puma. Bring it back in. Bring it back in. But no, this Rumble was incredible. I thought it was. Only thing I would say, this is for men and women's both Rumbles. I've seen more lazy spots in this one than I've ever seen before, and this was clearly the crowd not being there because to me, one of the greatest of all time in Rumbles when it comes to ducking and hiding is The Miz. And he always made it look believable, like he would hold on to the rope the whole time. And if he'd sit in the corner for 5 minutes, he was holding on to the rope for 5 minutes, not just sitting there looking around, which I've seen a lot of the girls doing in this match. And that took away from. So I'm glad you fixed me. You said the entertainment factor of this Women's Royal Rumble. Kago, your thoughts, or you finished there with your soliloquy there, Dice Man.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm all good.
Your thoughts on your Women's Royal Rumble? We know Bianca Belair won. We spoke about that, but overall, the Rumble in itself, how did you feel about that?
It was good. I definitely enjoyed some of the surprises as well. Victoria actually looks amazing shape, by the way. I did put that she looked rather large. I didn't mean that in a wrong way. She just looks jacked. But it was good. It was good. I agree with Mike. That the things that the Royal Rumble does need the crowd. I think it's one of those events that you definitely do need the crowd. They try to do a good job piping in the crowd noise and doing the countdown, all of that. But it was good. It was good. I really don't have anything else to add except that the right person won. Love the final four. One thing that was entertaining that you're talking about, the whole entertainment piece. Billie Kay. Let's be real.
Yeah.
She's been, she's just meandering out there. I honestly did believe that she was going to stay all the way till the end of the Royal Rumble, trying to petition
the female R-Truth is what I think she's on her way.
Yeah, and you know what? Can I tell you something?
She and that belongs honestly to the girl.
A good job on it.
And honestly, the female R-Truth, for what it's worth, is the woman who won the 24/7 championship and the Rumble, which is Alicia Fox.
Yeah,
that was another good.
Alicia Fox is the woman's R-Truth. I mean,
and you know what? Can I say something, man, about that really quick? People are sitting there complaining, bitching about that this spot happened.
Yeah,
it was just funny, man.
Yeah.
It was, the 24/7 title was going to be somewhere put on the show.
Yeah.
A lot of people saying that it was watered down, that they watered down the women's division because it was a nice little touch.
Listen, I haven't done it, but now you did it. And you know what you did? And not you, but you brought it up. Every time I try to get out, y'all keep pulling me back in. Okay? I get sick and tired of being sick and tired of people complaining about being sick and tired of seeing them interfere with women's stuff. First, it was when Carmella first won the Money in the Bank. Oh, James Ellsworth had to help her. It diminished it. No, it didn't. Ain't like he's like a powerful, strong man like China was for the men who would actually stop in their shoes when China would step in front of Triple H. No, it's a funny spot. It's wrestling. Right. It's not that she needed the man. She don't need the guy she has now. It's funny that she has a male escort, a male valet. It's wrestling 101. And for this to happen, for him to come in and say, oh, my bad, it's the wrong Rumble. And then start using Alicia Keys to help keep the other guys out of the ring. Come on, man.
You know what would have been cool, though? The spot would have been even funnier if they did it, because he came out during, in between intervals between the two entrants. It would have been funny if he would have came out with his theme music, with with the whole countdown going on, it was his theme music, and he would have came out. You get what I'm saying? I think that would add a little bit more of a flair. But I thought it was great, man. I thought the whole truth thing was funny. It was kind of weird not seeing though in the men's Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
so he wasn't on there. It was kind of weird.
It was. Shout out to everybody listening right now or watching right now, if you will, on Facebook, on Twitch, on not Instagram, on Twitter. And so shout out to some of the comments not coming through from Facebook. I fixed that. This is my first time using StreamYard. I ain't gonna lie, StreamYard. I didn't want to use you. I didn't. God damn it, you forced my hand. So with that being said, Granddaddy P checking in, best women's Royal Rumble since the first one. Fantastic, great performance from Flamay Mignon. You know, I know if y'all don't know who that is, I'm gonna tell you who that is. That's Naomi coming in, and I'm like, dude, that's who she is, Skip. That's my girl. That's not your girl. That's my girl right there. Michael Grant checking in. Also, we got Michael also checking in. How you say that last name? GJ Lakata? My bad if I your name up. Hey, what's up, guys? From over here, the Smoking Club 24/7 Championship. I like it. Women's Uncle Elder checking in. Women's Royal Rumble was awesome, entertaining. What could else have been if not entertaining? I loved it last night. But I will want to turn our attentions to this a little bit if you can, and that is over to the men's version of this Royal Rumble. And why? Because the men stepped out. We talked about Edge winning it. I personally think it's a beautiful story. And I understand, like we talked about on the pre-show, about how every time Vince needs something, he calls on the older guys to come back, right? But if you could accept that Edge last year coming back, then I don't see the difference, okay? He's, with all due respect, he's not in shape like Chris Jericho right now. He came in here, he's hustling, he's bustling, he's trying. And then, what's that chant you would get? You still got it? Edge still has it. Yeah, we saw some of the lazy spots in the Royal Rumble from everyone, as I already talked about. But Edge did his thing, in my opinion, staying around in this Royal Rumble. But going over to this men's Royal Rumble, Dice, Starting off with Edge and Orton, I said 1 or 2 would win this match. You called as soon as you saw the promo, he was winning the pay-per-view. Sami Zayn, hilarious. Mustafa Ali, Jeff Hardy, Dolph Ziggler, Shinsuke Nakamura, Carlito in shape. Some would stay on the deer antlers. Xavier Woods, Big E, John Morrison, Ricochet, Elias, Damian Priest, which stole the show the way I believe Keith Lee did last year, according to the masses out there. The Miz, Riddle, Daniel Bryan, Kane, King Corbin, Otis, Dominic Mysterio, Bobby, the almighty Bobby Lashley, the Hurricane I popped for. Sorry, I popped for the Hurricane. I popped for Christian, my son. Dice, you were in the party. If you were in the party, we were in the Xbox party.
I was singing the theme music. That's my guy, man. I love Christian.
You heard my son going through the roof. It was piercing my ears. I was next to him. AJ Styles, Rey Mysterio, Sheamus, Cesaro, Seth Rollins. What'd you say he had on last night, Dice? When he came out with his fur on?
Oh, that was 100% black bear Alaskan fur right there, man.
A black bear Alaskan fur. Braun Strowman coming in at number 30. Dice, your thoughts on the men's Royal Rumble? Because I did like it. I'm not gonna say I didn't like it. I just thought the women's was more, like you said, more entertaining. In that, but I really did like this men's Royal Rumble. But I'm a homer when it comes to Royal Rumbles and things like that. So for me, it's not much you can do bad in these things. It's about the placements. And I thought the placements were great. I thought the spots were coming in were great. I thought Orton turning on everybody, but we knew he would. Why do people still trust Randy Orton? I just don't understand these people. Okay, you know he's going to RKO your ass out of nowhere. And this you should know. It's coming, so it's going to come from somewhere, but you don't listen or pay attention. But Dice, your thoughts on the men's Royal Rumble?
As I'm looking down at the list, I don't think that there was any wasted entries outside of.
Well, we talked about the legends coming back, right? So we you know, I mean, having to have to me that makes the Rumble having guys come back that's not there. Some like it, some don't. I'm on the side of liking it. And this one, what we counted them yesterday, was only 3 people coming back, right? Counting Carlito, Christian, and one more legend and Kane. So that was all you got. So
I mean, I don't ever want to see either one of those guys in the ring again.
Which one? Hurricane was funny.
Hurricane or Kane.
No, I don't, not in the match. Not in the full match. Absolutely not.
To see Kane look like that, man. Listen, keep doing your mayor of Knoxville thing, man, because it's cool, man. Don't tarnish the big red machine. Don't do it for me, man. He's one of my favorite big guys ever. I didn't like to. I mean, it was cool to see him come down with the 8K cam. Love the 8K. That's all I wanted to see. I didn't want to see anything else because he looked like his back hurt a little too much, man. But
a little bit.
Some really good. I mean, like some really good or really cool spots that I thought were cool was, you know, Xavier Woods and Big E getting to do teamwork in the ring, because we haven't seen them since the split together. Mm-hmm. So the backstage was cool. We got to see Kofi, and they had the nice ring gear for Luke Harper, which was really good.
Respect.
And then like I think that Damian Priest, you can put him as the wild card MVP of the men's, but I could also go Big E or Lashley, but Lashley he wasn't in there
long enough. Yeah.
But the exchange between Lashley and Big E, gosh, what potential for money, man! Like that's crazy.
I think shout out to Scotty Diaz calling out. You got your Intercontinental and your US champion going at it right now, which showed that.
I think that the almost saving AJ Styles, which I thought that was hilarious. In the ways that I thought that was pretty cool. But for me, the Christian being so well in shape and performing at a pretty good high level.
Mm-hmm. If I can take MVP coming back, I can take Christian coming back. And I'm being honest.
The Final Four, I'm looking like, okay, this is not a bad Final Four.
Well, Final Five, remember? Because this time, Orton was still, right. Yeah, we knew. Put that back out. We knew. But in the ring, image showed us that Final Four.
Yeah. So I mean, like he's as far as shock value, he's my he's my MVP for shock value because he stayed
like when MVP came back. Okay, yeah, and MVP came back and stayed for a while.
Yeah, out and you know what I'm saying, like. So that for me, that was the highlight for me. But that Final Four, I didn't like Braun Strowman's placement. I think he was too big for that.
Yes,
he's too big for that.
Yeah, how do you bring him in at number 30 and he can't? You know, and you're right. I'm glad you spoke on that because you bring him in at number 30, Dice. What's your purpose? Your purpose is to be the big guy. You're supposed to get all the other guys out. But you just pointed out something, right? Let's play this for a while. There wasn't that many. I go back to the 01 Rumble. That's the one I watched recently, the one I like the most that I watched recently, right? And I look at, you have Saturn, you have Al Snow, you have Grandmaster Sexay, may he rest in peace. You know, you have Scotty Too Hottie. I can just keep raving. These are guys you know are going to get thrown out, right? That you know are not going to win it. In this one, this proves to me the roster is better than it's ever been. And I'm talking about as far as in-ring talent, not entertainment value. Okay, so hear me out with that before everybody get on me about the Attitude Era. But you know they do. You know they will. So you bring that into perspective. Who's he going to throw out? I mean, I still say bring him in, but maybe that's a different thing. I'm like, hey, we got a lot of good guys in here right now.
Middle of the pack.
And nobody ways. But, you know, I was disappointed. Let's talk about this. People don't talk about that. Disappointments for you guys in the Rumble. For me, I had to say King Corbin. But I've been losing my steam for Corbin for a while. And you've known Huggo for a while. I'm one of the biggest Corbin fans. And he's just disappeared from the scene.
Trash, right?
You know, I'm not overly impressed, honestly, with Damian Priest. If I could be honest, I seen him in person when I went to Wrestlemania in New Orleans. He was at that time in Ring of Honor, and saw him. Just wasn't impressed. I know, you know, Scotty again. I bring his name up. He's big on Damian Priest. My kids was liking him. I don't know. I don't like big guys. Okay. That try to mimic with the little guys. I'm not saying it's not impressive that they can do it. I just think it makes it less special the way that it always has. It's one thing jumping off the top rope or doing some of the things that, you know, Ahmed would do back in the day and Shawn didn't like. You know what I mean? I'm talking about the things that Damian Priest can do is the same things I'm seeing Dominic Mysterio do. You know what I'm saying? I see Ricochet do. I don't need to see that from a big guy. I want a big guy to be dominant and monstrous. That's just my thoughts on that. Any disappointments for you in this one as well, Huggo?
No, I like I said, I was thoroughly impressed. So I don't have per se that something was like, oh, I hated that or I hated this. Not at all. I actually did like the men's Royal Rumble. The women was better, definitely. I love the shock value of the returns. For example, Carlito. If I could give a shout out to him, man, he looked great. You know what I mean? I think he could also go, just like Christian. He could also go. However, is he going to stick around? I hope so. I'm a huge Carlito fan, man. I love Carlito. It's just that, you know, WWE and them had a bad blood, which I can tell you that you could fix things throughout the time. So if Carlito was there, that means there might be something in the works. I thought Damian Priest was great. You know what I mean? My only disappointment, and again, this is outside of the wrestling, was really that whole Bad Bunny thing on there, man. I could have done without that. To be real with you.
Can I get a blind tag? Can I get a blind tag? You are Latin descent, right?
I hate him. I can't stand him.
Now, I'm someone who don't like modern music, period. Okay, but I also don't like. I don't speak Spanish, so for me, I'm okay on it. But you being Latin and you're saying trash, it makes me feel good when I say these guys are trash. I had no idea what he was saying, and I thought he was trash.
He was garbage. So, I mean, it was cool seeing. And
man,
again,
give me Pitbull. Give me Pitbull. We're gonna bring somebody Latin. Give me a Pitbull. Hey, come on, Dice. Do your little thing you be doing. Come on.
I hate. Oh man,
that's
what I want to hear. You know,
it wasn't catchy at all. Like, you know,
the performance sucked too. By the way,
Booker T.
The song is called Booker T. Good money. We got to give a boy props to our boy Booker T because he makes some good money there, man. He really did. But anyway, we could
still a check. I tell you that much.
We could have done without that spot. I mean, yeah, I get it because, you know, he had the whole conversation with Miz and Morrison, but they could have done that maybe backstage or I don't know, something, man. It took away from what was going inside the Royal Rumble, which was in the middle of the Rumble, just to give 2 minutes of fame to this guy. I don't know, man. Anyway, I could have done without that. Other than that, love the finish. Love the entrance. Carlito being there was great. I thought Damian Priest was the MVP of, well, not the MVP, but he was definitely strong. He had a strong showing.
He was that stand-up performance.
The only thing is that I didn't realize how old he was, though, man.
Who, Damian Priest?
He's almost 39 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
He's almost 39 years old, man.
Hey, that's that help me out, guys. Boogeyman coming finally getting his chance.
Oh,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? So,
yeah.
you know, now you tell me that he's that old. Now I'm gonna lay off of him a little bit more. Now I gotta say, okay, at 39 years old doing that shit, okay, Damian Priest, you're pretty freaking cool. Like, I gotta say that.
Let me ask you guys a question. Now that Seth Rollins, and again, this is just because I wanted to ask you guys this offline, but now that we're here, with the whole Seth Rollins things, we know Seth Rollins is a great character. You know, he's great in the ring, out the ring. You know, he's a good guy. You know, not newly become father. Do you honestly guys think that this whole Messiah thing has already ran its course? Because I personally believe that it has run its course. I was not happy to see him back again with this whole Messiah, persona. I think now that he took his hiatus, now that he's a newly dad, I thought it probably would have been better once again to switch things around and maybe not come back as a heel. I don't know. I was not happy with him coming back as the Messiah. I think the whole Messiah thing should be erased. I don't know.
Here's the thing, and I'm glad you brought that up because I've taken a little on the Facebook side of things. I said, and you saw my post, no Becky, no Ronda, and so I heard criticism or comments rather against that. And my thing is this: I don't care about the crowd. That's just me. Y'all guys know, you two know anyway, me personally, how I think about wrestling. So I don't listen. They don't care about you. And I mean that with all due respect. They care about your money, but they don't do stuff for you. They just don't. Okay. So if they wanted to bring them back, they would have brought them back. Okay. So there's a little controversy in debate. And shout out to, Glenn Thomas. He said in December, Becky had the baby. We read November, she had the baby. Tomato. Okay. So she's not back. Okay, no problem. Ronda Rousey, they say she's pregnant now, is what I'm hearing. So that's why she's not back. So, but either way, that as a wrestling fan, guys, you have to understand something. Just because you liked Aladdin doesn't mean I have to like Aladdin, right? I hype shit so much people may get mad at me. Okay, and just because I think something's great don't mean you have to. Sorry if I have what you don't have. That's je ne sais quoi. Okay, that's grapefruits the size of bigger than grapefruits, to say things you refuse to say or be happy about. Don't get mad at me, okay? It's my enjoyment. Let me enjoy what I enjoy. I want to see that, God damn it. I didn't get it, okay? I don't care if the chicks are having babies, okay? So to speak on your Seth Rollins part, thank you. Seth came back. We called it. We all thought it. He came out. His gear was great. The Messiah, yeah, it's run its course because they don't know what the hell to do with it. Okay, that's why it's run its course. But I didn't think he needed to have the disciples. So you gave him disciples, and then one got in trouble, so he took them away and all. So yeah, maybe he should go away. I don't know, because he doesn't need to have those guys. It's all about, to me, a different, higher level right to censor, not right to censor, but straight edge society in a sense. You know what I mean? It's a way of showing you that I am the all time. We call me White Jesus. Okay, at least I call him White Jesus.
Yeah, but what is that's what made it. Like, he had Authors of Pain, and then you got the
but that's why they don't pull the trigger on that, and that's what I don't understand. It's like one second we hear, right? Because we don't know, we hear. So intelligent wrestling fandom and us tell us that Vince doesn't like stables, right? But then he gives us stables, right? Or he gives us what appears to maybe be a stable. So I don't know. The New Day stayed around. Yes, they're kind of a stable. They're like the Freebirds. Look how long they've been out. They pulled money out of the hat, right? Then now you have the Hurt Business. For what it's worth, they're pulling money for WWE right now. So they just didn't pull the trigger on, on his group. But I like Seth Rollins, because I love Seth Rollins. Everybody wants to talk about Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega couldn't, that's not true. They have a really good match together. But I see Kenny Omega, I see Seth Rollins. And yes, Dice, every single time I bring up Seth Rollins, I'm going to bring up Kenny Omega. Because I'm getting tired of people trying to get sick and tired of always being sick and tired of trying to say this man's the best man in the world. Okay? He's not. Yes, they did some stuff behind the scenes, behind the curtain, pulling the curtain, whatever you want to call it, okay, and made fans, wrestling fans, little kitty wrestling fans who don't understand pro wrestling, if you smack them in the face. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He ain't no CM Punk, though.
No, it's not even close. not even close. But let's go ahead and move on, because what Dice said, which pissed me off, all right, that the bore of the night, how dare you? The bore of the night belonged to no other than the tribal chief himself against Kevin Owens. Yes, the ending was ass. Because two things, the referee completely fucked up. You were counting and just stopped counting, right? Out of nowhere, like an RKO. And then Paul Heyman, nothing against Paul Heyman. The way that he was handcuffed under the damn light fixture, he should have just brought out bolt cutters, okay? Because having to have Paul Heyman's walrus-shaped ass had to be on the ground not once, but 2 times to try to get the keys unlocked that took just too long. But to me, besides that part in the match, and besides the fact that I knew who was going to win the match, this is what we call with the Goldberg match, which we see how we even talk about it, right? But just now, right? Congratulations. You know, we talk about that in a second, a small bit. But you get my point. We knew who was going to be the outcome of the match, right? So I loved it. And yes, I know I'm high on Roman. I know I'm super high on Kevin Owens. But if you go back and watch the match, it was shout out to Champ Creed, who said to him, it's in his top 5, if not one of his best last man standing matches. I question that, but it was really good. And seeing, I think someone had a post about 21 years or something like that the day of the Royal Rumble. You saw Jeff Hardy on top of it in the crowd jumping down was iconic symbolism to Kevin Owens doing it off of the structure, the forklift with the pallet on top of it. I thought it was a really, really good match and really good high spots and a lot of good ass kicking going on. Just wish I'd have saw blood from that, Dice.
It was too long. It was too long for me. I don't know.
Maybe it was about 7 minutes too long.
Yeah, you could have cut out
the ending. The damn ending took 10 minutes.
But you could have cut the going from layer to layer to layer of the crowd, I guess you want to say. Like that just took too long for me. And at that point, I don't know if it was the chicken wings with the extra hot sauce that I had to. I was just ready for it to be over because I was falling asleep. I literally was sitting here. I was sitting in this chair. I was sitting in this chair, and I started to go over to my couch, and I laid my head down. And I said, "Man, this match better." In my head, I said, "This match better hurry up because I will fall asleep, and I know the men's rumble is next." And just as I said that, it was just ending. So I was like, all right, now I can sit back up. But for me, it went about a good 5 to 7 minutes over, and it was in certain spots that was unnecessary for me. You could have just had them, they didn't have to fight through the TV crowd or whatever. You could have had them just, get backstage.
SmackDown 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he didn't need it again.
I'm just playing devil's advocate. I disagree, but I'm just playing devil's advocate, helping you out there.
Yeah, so I just seen that, so I don't want to see them go through there again. Like you just went like another level higher. Oh, cool! Wow, like no, that's trash. But probably the biggest disappointment with that match is no Usos.
Yeah. We spoke about that in the pre-show, and at least I'm all event main event Uso. Matter of fact, he wasn't even the goddamn Rumble. So did he get tested for COVID or something? No, seriously, right? Yeah, because him not being there, he said he was going to be in the Rumble, right? That was supposed to be a big storyline. So maybe a lot of things changed in this Rumble. What if Uso was supposed to win the Rumble, right? The world may never know how many licks it take to get to number Tootsie Roll Pop. Some say 3, but hey, we never know how many licks it take to get to number Tootsie Roll Pop. But damn it, no Usos. I still disagree because from the brutality part of this match, I want you to if you respect my wrestling mind, give it another watch. Just give it another watch. I think it was really, really good. I enjoyed it. But yeah, I will agree with some points you made there. It definitely took too long, and not having the Usos. And again, I said the ending aside. But other than that, the brutality that took place in this match, they beat the shit out of each other. Hugo?
Yeah, definitely. 100%. Everything that Dice said. Great match. 21 minutes. 21 minutes. Could have been shortened to about 15. Could have also took away. It also got you exhausted going into the Royal Rumble. You know what I mean? But other than that, I thought the athleticism was great. The one spot that kind of had me like it was a head scratcher was when Kevin Owens was on top of the forklift. He could have done. He could have just done the whole Rock. When the Rock got. You remember when he had the last man standing against Mankind, and Mankind brought that the forklift on Roman Reigns. That would have been It's something like that would have been cool to see, maybe, because then you could have probably set up with the Usos coming out, something like around those lines. Other than that, great match. Kevin Owens is a workhorse. I don't know what's going to happen now with Kevin Owens because he's so damn entertaining. And if you really look at it, who can he go ahead and transition to feud with now?
I don't know.
There isn't any.
Please don't give us him versus Seth Rollins again. Please don't.
There's something tells you this isn't over. I just, and honestly, when
you think they'll have one more pay-per-view match though?
I think maybe one more, and I hate what you just said there, Dice, because I agree. I don't want to see it because I don't like the people who didn't like it, right? However, with that being said, they didn't finish that to me. Kevin Owens.
I don't think they finished for a reason. I'm sorry to cut you off, but
no, you're right. Last man, when I meant didn't finish, I meant what he was saying as far as Kevin Owens moving on with Seth Rollins.
Oh, okay.
But again, what you were just tagging in on, I agree. Last man standing does mean last man standing. That's supposed to be the end, right? Yeah. That's supposed to be the end. But it's the WWE, which means we don't know. But and again, we have to have this road to WrestleMania. We talked about it earlier. I'm going to go back there. I think it makes sense that it's Edge. And this is why I like doing post shows after, not the night of, and you're on your emotional high and you're stuck in the moment. You have to let things digest your food. You can't go to bed on a full stomach, right? You got to let your food digest, or you're going to wake up with stomach pains and probably taking a shit in the middle of the night. Okay. But when you look at this and you think about it from the Tons' point, anybody can go against Drew. Right? You can have the Fiend if you need to. I don't know what you do with it, but I think Drew has more people can go at Drew than Roman. And I think Roman and Edge kind of may make sense, when you put in, what Edge meant to SmackDown. But Edge meant a lot to both programs, Raw being that. So I'm going to put that back in there as well. Edge versus Roman, Chris Harris chimes in on Facebook that he would like to see. So, Dice, we talked about it earlier. What if you had to bet on that? It was a 10-1 odds, 2-1 odds. What would you go with Edge and Orton? Because I think it does make the most sense now.
Edge and Orton.
Yeah, Edge. Edge and Roman. Sorry.
I don't know. I think as much as I'm for it, I still think it's a long shot. But could you think of just think those three guys on the microphone? Edge, Heyman, and Roman with a microphone every other week, man, that's probably a really good interaction. But Edge by himself, when they just give him a dark room and a stool to sit on, he kills it. But I think that it could happen. And I think they would just keep playing on the one word that they used when he returned last year, and that's grit. Grit. Like, how do you sum it up? Grit.
Yeah.
Nobody has it but him. And Drew McIntyre is just too happy-go-lucky right now. There's no more edge on him. I'm getting very bored with him. I mean, what's next pay-per-view?
Getting very bored.
Is it Fastlane? No, not Fast.
They didn't actually say it this time last night.
Elimination Chamber would be, wouldn't it? I think it's the Elimination Chamber.
I want to bring Uncle Elder Jed just said something on Facebook, and I want to get you guys' take on this before we get up out of here. He said, "So what is next for McIntyre? The new Hogan dude is boring to him." I don't find McIntyre boring. I just think that they're running out of guys that
they're
can
definitely
go
run out
with
of contenders.
Right. Like, you have to start pushing the almighty Bobby Lashley. You have to start pushing those guys, the Braun Strowman maybe even, to go against him. I know you may not want to see it, but I think dude coming back as ripped as he is, it gives him a different lease on life.
He's a SmackDown guy.
It's okay. He's also a SmackDown guy. Okay, so Romo last night threw him off a who's who. So again, I don't know. I'm not done with McIntyre just yet. We thought we was going to get Jinder Mahal in the Rumble last night, which
listen, he'll be at that throwaway pay-per-view in February.
Okay. Chris Harris chimes in. Drew probably faces Braun. I just said that. Or Keith Lee. But at Mania, I cannot see, and I'm being honest, with how they've done Keith Lee lately, bringing him on to be in a main event at WrestleMania. It's just, this guy had so much steam coming in, Chris. He had so much fans loving him, his impact, how they brought him in, the rub he got a year ago from Brock Lesnar to they changed his music, they changed his clothes, they give him an he go against Orton night 1, and then from there he just played the backdrop. I just didn't understand what they did with them, and it was kind of disturbing, if you will, so to speak. But overall, guys, your takes on the night, you know how we do it here. I give out belt grades. All right. And shout out to Mike, who gave it 5 out of 5 John Cena spinner title belts last night. I'm going to take it a step further than that. And I'm going to keep it a real grade here. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 Wing Eagle title matches. Here's why I give it that belt. Here's why I give it 4 out of 5, not the full 5. All right. There were things, and to me, and this is when you're giving a grade out, it's what's important to you. It's like, there's a best of all time list. If you put things in perspective and you give them why they're there, a criteria. But I also have my favorite list. There's a difference between my favorites and the greatest list, right? On the greatest list, I don't have Barry Windham, but in my top all-time top 10, I have a top 25. There's Barry Windham. There's beautiful Bobby Eaton. You may not put those kind of guys there. So I give it that grade because remember when Taker first got it and he's on his knees? It's I can see things changing in the WWE, and it could be the pandemic era. It could be this win for Bianca Belair. I'm going to speak on it. Was big. It was big. I get a kick out of it. I'm sorry if you guys can't relate, but if those who can, I have a little girl. Black girl magic is real in my house. And then, like I said, seeing her story, and Dice would tell you, I wasn't really big on. I'm not always big on African-American superstars as people. I will cheer for them, but they're not necessarily my guy. And I would even say things like I wasn't that attracted to her and things like that, but I watched her chronicles and I saw her story and I fell in love with Bianca Belair. I keep saying Blair, but it's Belair, right? So I fell in love with her for that. So I thought it was great, and I love to see what's coming from. But it didn't give me everything that I, as a fan, wanted. Was my point. You know, there's things you want, things they give you. As a fan, I wanted to see those girls come back. I wanted to see John Cena. I wanted to see Jinder Mahal. I wanted to see people come back that didn't come back last night. I saw people that I see every single week on TV, and for that, it kind of may have not given me the 10 or the 5 out of 5 that I wanted. So I give it 4 out of 5 Wing Eagle titles for that reason. Dice, your thought, your belt grade on this.
A quick thing, you probably didn't see Jinder because he came back during that Superstar Spectacle thing. That was over in
the one they showed last week. They came on momentarily. Yeah, he
returned then. But yeah, he's probably, I don't know, maybe he got COVID. He was in protocol. A lot of people,
I think a lot of people did go in there. David Sanderson chimes in. I don't think the Elimination Chamber makes much sense as it puts wrestlers' bodies and there's no fans for that either. I think Elimination Chamber is supposed to be next. Honestly, that you said that. That's why I brought your comment up there, Dave. But you have to do it. That's tradition. If they keep the tradition, because Edge won, so we know Edge is going, but who's the next one? And who's the next one for the women's title? So you will for sure get your Elimination Chamber matches. If you can have a Royal Rumble, trust me, you can have Elimination Chamber. Okay, if you can do one of the biggest pops pay-per-views of the year, which is the Rumble for no other reason, if you will, than the countdown that we kept alive in my house last night, you will get that. Shout out to Belt Kings on Maurice Eaton chiming in. Christian returns, so that gave it a 5 out of 5 for him. But what's your belt grade there, Dice?
All right, so don't scrutinize me right now.
Okay, all right, that means I will.
And I'm going to give it 3.5.
That's your grade. You're entitled to
Randy Orton World Heavyweight double titles.
Okay, but the 3, double titles, and it's a 3.
Yeah, there's a perfectly good explanation for this, and I really thought about this because now we got done with it. I'm thinking in my head, and I thought about it last night. I was looking at news articles and clips, and actually I just seen a nice little read on 3 reasons why Edge should face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 37. That's on Sportskeeda right now. So you should definitely try to check that out. And one of the reasons was because remember when they were using WWE 2K to fantasize about dream matches, and Corey Graves had said Edge versus Roman is a dream match that we would never see happen.
Okay.
That's crazy. But my belt grade is because after thinking about the Rumble, where the hell do we go from here?
I just told you.
And it doesn't excite me.
Okay.
And for the first time, I don't feel very excited. I feel very excited because I'm a wrestling fan, but I don't feel very emotionally connected to any possible storyline that is not.
Wherever your tribal chief is, I'm there for that. I don't care who he goes against. And right now, whoever Bianca Blair, which right now it has to be Belair and Banks. That's the show she's on. That's the Royal Rumble she wins. That she gets to choose also. I don't think she's going over to Raw to challenge for that. I think she's still on SmackDown, and she goes straight at Sasha Banks. And everybody says all the time when it came to PS5s and Xboxes, and take my money now. Okay, take my money now if you're going to give me Banks and Belair, because that's going to be awesome. Go ahead with your soliloquy there, brother.
It's not enough for me right now. So when I'm thinking about it, I'm looking back. The pay-per-view was really good. It was really good, but after it's settling and I'm looking at different things about it being praised, and we're talking about it, and I'm like,
you go up from a 3.
It wasn't that great to me.
Oh, you see, there you go with that stuff again. Shout out to Granddaddy P. Says 4 out of 5 Naomi titles. Booker T standing there while the dude be doing mumble raps prevents the full 5.
Thank you. I agree.
Shout out also to Mo_Eno on the Twitter and social media as well. I actually enjoyed the show outside of Drew versus Bill, and shout out to Naomi Hind Parts. We call her for Mamie Young on this show. Naomi coming back with the natural hair was just fantastic, and I loved it. 4 out of 5 for me. Go ahead, Hugo, your thoughts on this one.
I'm gonna go 4. Yeah, I'll go 4 out of 5. Chris Jericho, undisputed world heavyweight champ. When he first wanted unified both belts, that's what I'm going to go ahead and go with. I just thought about something. We're talking about where storyline goes. Could be a full circle. WrestleMania is bringing back fans, allegedly.
Right. We still haven't got to prove to that yet. Allegedly.
Raw has its main event. It makes perfect sense for Edge to go back home to SmackDown. Edge versus Roman. Moneymaker.
Wherever Edge goes is moneymaker. But
have you guys sat and then that way you could add to what I'm about to say. Have you guys thought about making the full circle? WrestleMania 37, Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar. He comes back at the Elimination Chamber, and we get those 2 at a rematch.
I think you'd get that for sure. I heard last night about a 3-way with Orton, Edge, and The Fiend, or McIntyre. And here's why I say I'm not against anyone knows happening as well, because what I was going to say was I don't think Edge and Orton's story was done. Edge got hurt, and that stopped that storyline going. I think they still have a part of that story to tell. Now the question is, will they do it after Mania at this point, or they try to do it?
They're going to have to, because you can't take away from The Fiend versus Randy Orton and add a third man into it. You can't.
I want to see a Fiend Randy Orton match at WrestleMania, but I've already seen it at WrestleMania. We saw the bad payoff in Orlando. We saw the bad payoff in Orlando with the worms and the things in the ring. So
I loved it, but it
didn't come across good in person.
I mean,
it may have. In person, it didn't come across very good.
Did we need to see? I mean, if we got to see
when we got
to see John Cena versus Bray Wyatt for a second time at Mania, we can definitely watch this one, because
it'll be different though. It'll be different. Again, that type of match is going to be cinematic. Let's be real. It's heading to the direction where it's going to be cinematic. So it doesn't take away, how the payoff's going to be, because even with fans or no fans, it's gonna be produced. It's not gonna be, live. It's not. That's going to be. So if you add Edge to it, what does that make the sense between why am I going to bring into a triple threat when Fiend and Edge have no history? How do you introduce that? You get what I'm saying? I personally will be against a triple threat. I think Edge, Roman, Randy Fiend at WrestleMania, and we have Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar.
How about this? And Mike Granddaddy P chimed in. Edge Orton, 3 stages of hell.
That'll be cool. That'll be cool. But that would have to be for the belt.
Yeah.
It would have to be for the belt. So you could do that. The thing is that a pay-per-view like Backlash, or it would have to be set where it progresses over into SummerSlam. That's your SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Again, program.
This is why I am always in favor to the road to WrestleMania and the Royal Rumble. I want to thank you, Huggo, for coming back on. Been a long time seeing you. The Z is Silent podcast DJ, that is Dice Man, chiming in as always, and everybody tuning in out there and Streamland. Listen, guys, around the blocks of Mike Knoxxx. If you're going to go to the road to WrestleMania, you got to come around the block. All right, come get some food while you're here, get a haircut, step into the barbershop. All right, where we do what we do, where barbershop talk meets radio, guys. Listen, we're going to get up out of here. Thank you for tuning in. This is why it's great to the road to WrestleMania, because we don't know what's going to happen. Listen, guys, we'll see you next Monday, because as we take this road to WrestleMania, we're going to be here every freaking week telling you how to enjoy wrestling the right way. We out here, y'all. Peace.
Bloxxx Radio. Your boy Mike Knoxxx. The game version 1. The best game show on radio. Let's get it.
Your time is up, his time is now. You can't see him, his time is now.